Hey viewers, welcome to another game of Casual Pro Gamer. This is game number 2 of a best of 5 between JimRising in the bottom right corner as our Zerg player and PiliPili as our Protoss player in the top left position. So yeah, the last game was pretty decent actually, really surprising strategy. I'm not going to spoil anything else for that. About that, but yeah, if you didn't see it, it was actually a decent game, so go watch. Anyhow, we, well, expect another reasonably normal game on this map. It is a smaller map, it's not one of those huge maps, and we'll have to see if that that comes into play. It means that Russia strategies are a little bit better on this than on the huge maps, where the distance is just so big, especially on 4-player maps. The distance is just so big that you can't really, well, deal with that. You can't really rush across that. So yeah, I expect maybe a little bit more aggressive strategy early game here than I would expect on a bigger map. But well, still 90% of all games are just really normal games. Which is why that other 10% is so amazing to watch. So no spawning pool coming up yet. I'm expecting an early expand then. Yeah, well, obviously that's going to happen. So going to expand here, and we see a probe coming out, just scouting around. He's going to see that that expansion, going to see that there is no spawning pool up. So that means if there is no spawning pool up, that obviously he has all the time in the world to do whatever he wants, which in this case would be to expand. Yeah, and he is indeed going to do that. So yeah, going to wait until he actually sees what's going on, or rather times that so that he can see what's going on before he has to put down his base, because if there was no second base here, then he can still change his strategy. The spawning pool is coming up, and of course these guys, yeah, they do go and scout that as well, because that's what you do, right? So you scout the spawning pool here, and you're like, okay, a few links may come out, and nothing else is going to happen. He may actually just stay here and see how many links are actually going to come out. But it is, of course, well, it's dangerous. But normally after the spawning pool we see some queens coming out, and that's already 300 of your minerals. So you don't really have a lot of stuff to actually produce extra units. Yeah, so 2 queens indeed coming out straight away. But yeah, the queens will spawn extra larvae. So at that point you might expect some offense. Currently, not really worried about it, apparently. He is producing a zealot, but not going up to anything else. Only has 1 gateway, and that might actually be super dangerous. Oh, whoa, Roach Warren already out. Okay, I'm calling it right now. The Zerg player has this. If he produces a few roaches, so if he can afford that, then he can just, even like 6 roaches would be enough to just completely annihilate this base, because there's no defense going on. Another pylon, so not even a gateway, does have warp gate research going here, but still only 1 gateway. And yeah, there are 2 sentries in production, but sentries don't work against roaches. I mean, yeah, they can hold them off for a while, but, well, holding off this gap, so assuming that he does put down 2 gateways here, there's the one, and there might actually be a second one right next to it. But yeah, the roaches, if they arrive here, yes, he can block off this little gap here, but 2 sentries are not going to hold off a roach army, which can just destroy this pylon, and then this gateway, and then this other gateway, without you being able to react to it at all. Still, nothing ranged coming out here, and I'm expecting the roaches to be done by now. Yeah, well, 2 roaches. That's not too much. Oh, more roaches coming in. So yeah, all the roaches are going to group up and wait for the Zerglings to join up with them as well. So 5 roaches total. And a bunch of Zerglings. He's going to spot them right now, but yeah, the mothership core doesn't do any damage. I don't even know, it's 8 damage. Woohoo! on 145 HP. Yeah, that's not going to matter at all. So yeah, he does wall off this little gap, but this is just going to be completely annihilated by these roaches and zerglings. The zerglings not really doing anything. They're trying to get through, but there is no gap, so I guess... Oh, now there was a gap for just a moment. Sentry's going to get picked off, so even though they had no energy, they weren't going to be useful anyway. But yeah, just going to rush in, I guess, and kill some probes. At this point, the complete base is broken. A few more attempts at warping in stuff, or yeah, warping in some sentries and getting some force fields out, but nothing happening here, and this base can just be completely, well, destroyed. The Zerglings are going to be super aggressive on it. And of course, the roaches are going to do some stuff as well. I don't know if he used the Nexus cannon or if he used his mothership core for anything else. But, well, it did use the energy that it had. And yeah, the GG comes out, obviously. There was nothing left to do. So, very nice rush strategy here by our Zerg player, and a very early game win. So, yeah, great. So, I don't think he... Oh, he did scout it, never mind. Yeah, he did scout that there was nothing going on, and took advantage of that to the fullest extent, and just won the game right at the spot. On the spot, yeah. Anyway, hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time. GG!